What's going on, guys? We got an exciting one for you because Kdot, which we are all a big fan of,
To pimp a butterfly shirt underneath.
which we're all a fan of. Some of us aren't, but whatever. That was all determined over the last year.
Out for y'all yet, because my guns aren't completely summer ready just yet.
But we're excited because he did something very groundbreaking by doing a Gatorade commercial, which no music artist has ever actually done. Typically, Gatorade commercials are athletes and Jordan. Just Jordan.
Man, first of all, Jordan is an athlete.
No. Jordan, there's athletes and then there's Jordan.
That's a good point.
Exactly. So K Dot uh, was able to do a commercial. We're gonna play it down. We're gonna give you a little reaction. But before we do that, I want you to know I'm Rel. This is
Shay.
the Queen, and I don't know why she laughs every time I call her a queen. She's my queen, at least. And we're gonna jump right into the action, the thick of things, and see what this commercial is. I know it dropped a few days ago. I didn't tell Shayla about it. She's a big Kendrick Lamar fan, as you can tell from the T-shirt that she mentioned that she's not showing. And
Guns aren't summer ready yet.
uh,
When the guns are summer ready, then I'll have all my T-shirts.
sun's out, guns out. You know how it goes.
My lifting program is starting to pick up. When the guns is ready, then I'll have all my Kdot shirts on.
But aside from that, I withheld that information because I wanted to watch it on live with her and get her first impressions of it. I haven't watched it in its totality. I've seen bits and pieces of it because everyone posted online, but we're gonna actually watch it with y'all for the first time and give you our feedback as storytellers and as creatives. And then after that, we're gonna roll into doing our mystery series that Shayla has been working diligently on. And we're excited to kind of keep that train going and, take y'all on this journey with us. But without further ado, headphones. You get the crappy headphones. I get the good ones
I know. How did this
because
happen?
I'm the editor.
Oh my gosh, it's so broken up.
All right. Without further ado, K Dot.
Eagles fly in Super Bowl 59.
Oh, Lamar.
How much are you willing to lose? Take the 65 gig. Losing steam, losing players, losing sweat. The solution?
A drink that hydrates better than water.
I can't with
So
the
they can work
solution.
more, sweat more.
Yeah, work harder.
There he is.
Because when you do that,
There he is.
you can surpass the hype.
Yeah, Asia. Way to go, Vegas.
You can inspire generation after generation. You
Yeah.
compete
Oh,
against anything, even gravity. Bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam.
it's an interesting song.
You wouldn't understand. Or even
they
yourself.
Shador, that's Shador?
So how much sweat are you willing to lose?
Yeah.
That's how you know how much you're willing to lose.
Lamar. What? Maryland in the house. MD represent.
All right, we ain't gonna play it again though. All right, so we saw the commercial.
Well, who, first of all, wouldn't want to be a producer for Gatorade commercials? Like, that was one of the reasons I wanted to even work in sports production. Like, ever since I was little, and then right out of school.
Yeah.
It is different when you actually get in the trenches, but
Yeah,
to make commercials like that. But that's like a whole nother side too. That's
Yeah.
sports production. That's a whole nother side of production. But
so
standard Gatorade commercial,
yeah,
really cool from the standpoint of him being the first musician.
Mhm.
Forget like art, hip hop artist or anything like that. And I think that's cool that that's the distinction that's being made by some periodicals, that he's the first musical artist to ever do a Gatorade commercial. So, and I think because of the work they've watched him put in,
yeah,
and just similar to an athlete. So, because it is kind of the same mentality, right? You put that work in, whether you what as an artist, and you see
Yeah.
it come, you do see it come to fruition. Particularly, I think music is one of those ones where it's kind of like, sorry, like sports. The more work you put in, it's a little harder on our side in terms of TV and film, because sometimes it can be a more of a game of who you know as opposed to talent.
yeah,
But talent and hard work, I should say. But to, but the way we watched him methodically work.
Yeah.
Forget the fact that he's been performing since 2009-ish, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
The slow build to like where he is now.
Yeah.
Crazy. And it is kind of one of those things where, and the people they chose, there's a couple I would like to talk to you about Gatorade. But, you know, Michael Jordan, I mean, my father remembers when his career began.
Yeah.
I can remember playing against this freshman playing against Georgetown, and that he was going to take that shot, and that the UNC versus the Heels versus the Hoyas, and he was like, "Yeah, go ahead, freshman, take that shot," and he took it, and my dad was like, "Who is this kid?" And you see what Jordan was able to build as an athlete. I love that they started out with the Eagles because that ties into Kdot's Super Bowl performance, but also
It's true.
what it meant for the Eagles to win this time.
Yeah.
This was a matchup that happened, 2 years after their last matchup?
Yeah.
And all that Jalen Hurts said, that all that they kept thinking in their heads, he says he can remember walking off the field with the confetti coming down and how what that felt like, that the confetti was coming down for another team, and how he never wanted to feel that way again.
Yeah.
So I think that's what was so cool about Super Bowl 59 was it was a culmination of seeing two teams, so to speak, PG Lang and the Eagles, put in so much work within the last like 3 to 5 years and seeing it come to fruition.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made Super Bowl 59 so cool. Yeah. What do you think?
Pretty, like you said, pretty standard commercial. You know, a lot of these Gatorade commercials, I mean, they're like the it's almost like Hallmark, right? Like the messaging is pretty on brand every single commercial, and it it is fascinating watching him achieve such heights. And there's something about, because no shots at Drake or anything like that, but Drake has been one of the top music artists for the last 15 years. Lil Wayne was a top music artist, 50 Cent. You have all these Jay-Z, all these great musical acts throughout the years. However, it's something magical about what he's doing now as a artist and as a businessman, and what he's doing with PG Lang, that I think just is peaking at the perfect time right now with our culture,
Yes.
where he is absolutely capitalizing. Because sometimes that's what it comes down to. Sometimes it's just luck, right? It's luck and timing, right? You always want to be prepared. So he was preparing
They talk
himself.
about luck being when preparation and opportunity
Yeah.
meet, right? And I think that's just what happened. We were so starved. Those of us that are children of hip hop, that were kids when hip hop first, kind of, I guess the pioneers were really breaking through and seeing what it looks like. I mean, we're not 50 years, like,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
not the age of hip hop, but remember the first time we heard pioneers like rap and what that meant. And then to see what the deterioration in lyricism over the last, like, I guess you could say a good 8 to 10 years.
yeah.
And I could be, there's some of you may disagree with me. That's fine.
Yeah, everyone has their own opinion.
I mean, I
Music
honestly
is
was
subjective.
listening to like 90s and early 2000s hip hop like for a very long time. Bro, I'll tell you, he was like, "Can we listen to, like, if we were in the car, or if he even heard like my playlist?" I mean, even my brother would like make fun of me about it, and I was just like, I'm not the whole mumble rap era. I couldn't do the offbeat rap thing that was kind of kicking it for a minute. I was like, I guess, but it was just whether you came from the neighborhoods that a lot of pioneers hailed from or not, it was really cool to hear stories being told of neighborhoods you didn't grow up in, or those that grew up in those neighborhoods. And it was people talking about their shared experiences in another way of expressing themselves. And because the Black people have been so instrumental in developing so many forms of music in this country,
Yeah.
and oftentimes forced out, it was actually kind of cool for us to grab something that people could see us create,
Yeah.
watch us, cultivate and curate and make it ours.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have, rap, you can go back and see where it began for a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
where, there's a lot of disputes over rock and roll. There's a lot of,
Yeah.
disputes over
There's only
country
two, right?
music.
Blues and hip hop. Only two that you really can see a direct in a direct line from blues to hip hop as well.
Because it was speaking of the experiences of the Negro in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Can't believe I used the word Negro, but that's what
That's what blues when it
blues
was.
was at
They
that
would
time.
say, yeah, they would say Negro.
So I think that's the cool part about it. And I it was just, I think it was really cool. And I think, gosh, those guys at PG Lang are really smart.
Yeah.
I mean, the timing of it, the fact that he's now 2 shows into his Grand National Tour with SZA and DJ Mustard is brilliant.
Mm.
The timing, because and he's still so on fire from his performance in the first quarter of this year that I just, it's just everything. And he has a film coming out this summer with the creators of South Park.
Yeah.
So just the rollout, we were going to
Yeah.
talk about this one day. The PG Lang rollout should be studied.
This is why I think Drake was going to lose. And like I said, I'm not here to really pick sides per se, but I'll say Drake was a music artist that was battling against, the whole 20 versus 1 joke about like Drake using writers and and the thing was he was fighting a business, PG Lang.
Yes.
He was fighting some people who have who perfected the rollout, like you said.
Yeah.
And that's where
And sat back and watched how rollouts failed and succeeded before they jumped in the ring. It wasn't like this is a 5-year-old company. They started in 2020.
And probably talk to the big brother,
Jay-Z.
You know what I mean? Because he had some rollouts that we did not particularly like, and you could learn from his mistakes as well.
Exactly. And it's just like and you think about it, like his partner in that business has been his friend since they were young.
Yeah.
So you had 15 years of watching your friend become a hip hop legend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then within that 15 years, you figured out what was lacking. What did hip hop still need? A lot of the videos that they create, especially those that play like a film, those are things that like artists like Michael Jackson and them were doing for years. And like I said, forget the beef or whatever, but I can remember watching Amigos video with Drake, and it was like a take on Soul Train.
Yeah. Walk it like it.
And it felt like they just dialed it in. You could have done so much creativity with that whole theme of what Soul Train, and I guarantee he didn't even know, like, to be honest, because he didn't grow up here.
Yeah.
What the significance of doing that? Because it was more of the Migos song, right?
Yeah.
It was like a collaboration.
Migos featuring Drake.
So that group didn't even. I mean, Lord forgive me. God rest one of their, but they're not even a group anymore.
Yeah.
And I think the thing about it is that what people don't understand about people who really do love hip hop is that what Drake benefited from, and I will give him this, it wasn't enough people working a lot. Some people literally came in, because I remember I used to joke about this, like when I was younger. Maybe I could make one song, make a hit, take the money, put it towards like being a storyteller, and then go from there. Because you have so many like one-hit wonders that were huge celebrities for no reason. Just like, okay, but in so many different other areas, like whether it be R&B and different places like that, or pop. Pop was like good for it.
Yeah.
Good hit. You'd be stay on that hit for them, especially if it was really catchy.
That's true. Yeah.
But hip hop's kind of become that too, where it's like a few people, like they have a couple good hits and they can just kind of live off of that celebrity, especially now with social media, that they didn't have, that with pioneers. So imagine if they had that when they were younger. But I think the thing about it is that Drake was just constantly releasing music.
Yeah.
And because like what they talk about with Playboi Carti just coming out, you're kind of like, dang, what was this dude? Like, he ain't put out that many albums.
Oh no, yeah.
But everyone was still speaking about his album, and that's unique.
That is very
take a break like that as an artist.
You're dead. Your career's dead.
Checking for you. It's like the Roddy Ricch dude.
Yeah.
When I sound like somebody's grandmother. When he was at the pop out? And everybody was like, "Yay!" But it wasn't like the same as when Tyler the Creator got on
Yeah.
stage. I was like, I can remember when that dude first started, and all those like, I was gonna call them kids, but at that studio in Queens,
Yep.
and they were all rapping his lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, I thought it was the rapper that was there that night,
Yes.
and I
Oh,
thought it was
I
his
know what
name.
you're talking about. You're talking about the big studio we went to. Yeah.
And you were like, "Nah, it's Roddy Rich."
Yeah.
And like those girls knew all the words, the dudes knew all the words, and then but you
Yeah, I think he released a second album, but it was such a long break in between. And he had like almost 10 singles off his first album, it felt like. And then he didn't follow up with the next album fast enough, and all that momentum died.
right
So Playboy Cardi, it is unique. He is unique in that
in that
regard.
regard. So I think that's the thing that's so cool is that considering how quickly everything turns over, social media is really helping artists stay relevant when they're not creating music.
Hmm.
And that's one of the things that gave Drake his longevity because outside of him, a 15-year career that where you're the number one selling artist.
Yeah.
I mean, LL Cool J technically to me is one of the goats, and people can say what they want to say
I
about
agree.
it because he had a hit in every decade
Yeah.
from the time in multiple in certain decades, and from the time he hit the stage. So that to me is when you're at goat status, where people are still excited to hear an LL Cool J hit in the early 2000s.
Yeah. I agree. No, I agree. I mean, when people say name your top five, and a lot of people leave LL Cool J off,
That's crazy.
and I don't necessarily know why, because when you think about it, he has amassed lyrically, he is as good as anybody else out there, and Amy age group, and then as far as longevity, he has had a hit in every decade. And what's unique, though, watching and basically what you're saying, what not what you're saying, but what I gather from a lot of music artists is they catch fire really fast. But when you catch fire really fast, you burn out really fast.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this is a lesson I think a lot of people can take from Kendrick Lamar is being patient, right? And
Yes.
perfecting your craft and growing and growing and growing. And he was growing while everyone was looking elsewhere, right? And putting out better and better albums to the point now where it's like, all right, it's time. It's time now. Now we're gonna establish this company and me as a music
And once
artist
he
as a
thought
great.
that risk was going to pay off,
Yep.
like just was ready to kind of do the like it really started on like, oh, you talking about my family?
Yeah.
I got like 10 songs for you. I'm only gonna release 4. And when like not like us caught the fire that it did, then it was because a lot of us can speak to this that are writers and Rel knows when you are feeling it and you really want to start writing because writing it's hard. Like everyone thinks it's just something you can just do.
Mhm.
When you are an artist and you are trying to tell a story, pouring that out of you every day is a really hard thing to do because first of all, there's life factors, right? Because he and I work in the industry, we're telling someone's story every day.
Mhm.
And by the time you are done working on an episode all day, which is typically for us 10 to 12 hours, sometimes longer, depending on what your turnaround time is,
Yeah.
that you have to get your cuts out. Thinking about picking up a laptop and writing something that means something to you is a lot. I envy musicians and how they can take their shared in life experiences and write pieces of work. But he speaks like a writer in terms of having writer's block, feeling inspired, taking conversations he's had and applying that to
Mm.
work that that make it into his songs.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you're right. I think and having the patience to sit because there's a lot of I mean, this is such a fast food society now that people want success right away.
Yeah.
So wait, and that doesn't matter what age you're at. I
Yeah.
talk to people who are seniors that are like, I don't know why things haven't cultivated for me that quickly, and they don't put out anything,
Yeah.
but they're begrudgingly like people who make something every day and they're seeing their returns.
Yeah.
So I think that's I mean, even I've fallen victim to that,
Yeah.
because we work within machines of people that when we have a series coming out on any network that we work for, it's like there's people at the network doing promos, preparing it. there's teams separate that work within our teams
Yeah.
that are doing season teases, the season on,
Yeah.
mid-season, to keep the audiences engaged. So it's a whole process.
Yeah. Like we're live streaming and is probably is 0 people watching, right? Like, and maybe we'll come back to this and we'll laugh, and maybe people watch our old streams and laugh and be like, man, they called out that they had 0 people, and it's just being patient, right? Like being patient of like you seeing that 1 or 2 views, and you're like, 2 people wanted to watch us, and being appreciative of those 2 people, being appreciative of your first handful of subscribers, and being appreciative of the journey. And that's what I looked at what Kendrick Lamar did, right? Like he tells the stories about sleeping on couches, and sharing a meal and stuff like that, and he did that for years, and nobody was really catching on to his music, and now he's a Pulitzer Prize. Now he's on a stadium tour. Now he's Saturday Night Live. He's everywhere, merchandise. And it's just like, and you can't get enough of him. So that shows you like being patient, growing your audience, and appreciating the journey as you're going through it and not rushing it. Like, even though you may see the success quick, and that's a blessing, but if you see it, build on it, and still remain patient in your building. Don't think, okay, I got hot quick, so I should keep getting hot. You know what I mean? No, keep building those stones. Now you have a foundation that you can build off of. If you got hot fast, that's great. High five, but don't rely on that.
And you may not see the return like consistently too. You may have a viral video. It's like the man that was dancing to the Drake video.
Oh, Shiggy.
Yeah, and it was so sad that
Yes.
I'm not trying to like.
Poor Shiggy. They were like making them dance everywhere.
It's like the Carlton because
Yeah.
worked with Alfonso Ribeiro on like this interstitial show for Sony,
Yeah.
well, Game Show Network, but it was like Sony years ago. Like we were connected to the Sony Live, and he said sometimes people just run into him and be like, "Bust out the Carlton," and he's kind of like, "I don't always want to do the dance," and I was like, and I'm not gonna laugh there the whole time, like. So does that mean you're not gonna do it for us, or because we worked with him every day? Like we saw Alfonso Ribeiro every day, but it was post Fresh Prince, and
that could be a good movie, like a
horror film.
like a horror film. Like you have
a good episode. Like
like Bamboozled kind of I think felt like that, where he had to tap dance for those people. That was
I watched that because
yeah.
there was a lot of imagery he used in
Yeah.
it, and I mean Spike Lee took some risks. That's another one that really didn't get appreciated until later in his career.
Yeah.
Like, I think people appreciate, like as a race, we appreciated him, but I think those outside, I think filmmakers did because of the risk Spike Lee was willing to take. Like, Spike Lee was like, I don't care if you this, that, and the third, and he was willing to take a lot of risk with the way he told stories, and I think especially visually.
Yeah.
But I think that as as creators, we always appreciated it too. But I think in terms of when you look back on his body of work, you now hear more people speaking out about him being an inspiration, and they don't look like us.
Yeah.
You never hear that when we were growing up.
I know.
Talking about Spike Lee being an inspiration, and then specifically Darren Aronofsky. I was at a Producers Guild event, and Darren Aronofsky spoke on Spike Lee influencing him as a filmmaker. He went with some friends. He was a kid to go see She's Gotta Have It, and said he didn't realize you could do a movie like this. And ever since then, and we were sitting there listening to him in this session, and we were like, I was more shocked because I had not heard too many white filmmakers outside of like Scorsese, because they have a relationship, and Scorsese also was a professor of his at NYU.
Yeah.
But I had never really heard people speak on respecting him from that standpoint and being influenced to become a filmmaker. And I'm not gonna lie, my white cohorts in that session were like, I mean,
I know. I'm literally gasping. Oh, that's funny. Well, hopefully one day we'll look back and Kendrick Lamar will be spoken in the same way with other people who look at him as a media company with their talent.
And teach that in classes. Why are you teaching how to sell what's remarkable about Skims You need to be teaching how PG Lang is doing it for a creative agency.
Yeah. Yep. And same thing, Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, what they're doing with their
Proximity and Outlier.
not no longer just relying on being work for hire, right? Or work for hire actor or work for hire director. They're actually building these companies and building these production companies. And I know,
They're doing also building branding agencies,
yep,
and it's kind of similar to what LeBron did with his group of friends. But like Michael B. Jordan had friends that went into advertising and learned kind of the tricks of the trade. So that what was it? It's oh my Obsidian, because I know they both start with O's. So
mm,
that portion of the people that handle his branding, and so any type of product
yeah,
rollouts that he does, they handle that. And the same with kind of branding any pieces of work he does.
yeah,
And then also Outlier, of course, is producing his production company, and for Ryan Coogler is Proximity. Brilliant that he decided to do producing,
yeah,
because I mean, Rel knows directors can always go.
yep,
I mean, it's like it's crazy. A lot of people don't know this, but like Antoine Fuqua was initially supposed to do American Gangster. He and Denzel had this relationship from Training Day, and Denzel, I think, signed on with the idea that he was going to be working with Antoine. And then, not that he doesn't have a great relationship with Ridley Scott, but I do think that there's something about us telling our stories,
mm,
particularly from the standpoint of it being a film about a gangster. Like Frank Lucas was this larger than life character, and there could be things, nuances that are
yeah,
missed sometimes when it's not a black director telling the story of a black
mm,
man.
agreed. Well, that's all we got for this. So if you made it this far, you might as well stay along and watch us put together this script. Unless Shayla has any final
No,
thoughts.
but do you have any final ones about the commercial? First of all, Jordan, shout out.
Yeah, no, I mean the commercial was well done. The only thing that's strange is, I guess, is why Peekaboo. That's actually an interesting choice of song.
I like that. You know why I like it? Well, honestly, it's the one that stands out the most from the performance if you think about it. I know a lot of people don't think that way, but the way he worked that camera with Peekaboo,
Hmm.
wild. I'm not even gonna lie, like especially when he popped up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like that part I still kind of,
Well, we know it wasn't gonna be Not Like Us
we knew it
because
wasn't gonna be that.
that's even
It
in
could have been turning
litigation.
TV off, but you're right. It couldn't, and it definitely couldn't have been any of his like Gloria
Squabble up
or Squab. It could have been Squabble Up,
squabble up.
but I do. It's funny because everybody that is a hater, Kdot hates the boom bap. And I love that
Yeah, I
part
know.
played in there.
I know, and he put
It's
it in
like
there.
he pays attention to the
Yeah.
internet too. Like, oh, y'all didn't like that part? Cool, that's gonna be in the Gatorade. They probably produced that commercial.
Yeah, oh, I think so.
Crazy. Like this, guys. This is the kid from Compton that wanted to be a hip hop artist, and now he's creating. He and his best friend from child, like one of his best friends from child, because he lost a lot of friends too,
Yeah.
right? Best friends from childhood are creating Gatorade commercials. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep. Just build it brick by brick. You can do it too. Like just brick by brick. Don't rush. Don't cheat the process and learn as much as you can. Soak up as much information as you can and apply it in the right fashion. And there you go. So you ready?
I'm ready. So we've been working on this mystery series,
Do you want it on your
mystery
lap?
film. Sorry. Huh?
You want the on your
Yeah.
lap? All right.
Thank
And
you.
there you go.
And so, okay, yesterday I did get to finish. I'm still not. I have a list of names, and maybe I should kind of second. Is this the intern's profile? I didn't change her age. Why didn't I save?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh no, none of the stuff. Where is the lead profile in here? Because that's not. I sent that to you too.
The lead profile. Right. Let's see. Just bear with us. We're trying to get some of this stuff. Oh, I have to go through Gmail. Sorry.
Hmm.
You have the keyboard. I can do it from here.
Oh wait,
No, I got it. This one?
yeah.
All right.
Oh no, they're mixed up.
All right.
Okay. Ooh. Can we go to the lead character profile real fast? Well, okay. So let me change this. It's clearly that still.
Well, sometimes you have technical difficulties, so we're trying to get it situated with some of the stuff. So we want to share with you where we're at.
I need my glasses.
And oh, you want me to get it?
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, guys. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be.
Use your laptop, and we can screen share because this is already up here.
This is
You can use your laptop, and I can still,
okay. See. In that black pouch by the printer. Thank you.
Yeah, do you want to wear your laptop? Use your laptop?
Yeah, let me use mine. Oof, these need to be a little. Wipe me down. I wish I had
Juice now.
my kit. I mean my my
All right,
lens wipes.
back like a new. All right. So while she gets situated, all right, which one are we working on, the lead or the intern?
I want to go over what we went. Like I kind of got to a place with the lead yesterday. So let's walk through where because we left off with the role, right?
All right, there you go.
Because something's changed. This sucks. I lost a lot of my work.
Mm.
Ugh. Can you scroll down? I don't know how I did that. Yeah, this sucks. Because I have all of this is gone, like the ages. Oh my goodness.
Why do you keep saying age? I see the age.
Yeah, but these are, so this should be 39.
The-
See how they're mixed up? Oh my
Wait,
goodness.
the intern is 39?
No, that's the thing. It got completely changed. For some reason, this, I don't know how this happened. This is the lead character. I don't know how that,
Oh, okay.
and some reason that got completely messed up. And then the intern profile, it's like got some of the stuff in here. Oh, this is the lead character, but I don't know how this happened. Oh, now I don't have the intern profile at all. It's weird. Oof. It's not good. Because this is the intern profile, and she was 20. It sucks. I gotta figure out a solid program to use. Because this is gonna get a little dicey. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. Oof. I lost all of that. Let's see. Yeah, so half her stuff is over here.
Wait, I'm confused. You know what it looks like you're doing right now? You're just swapping. This seemed like this should have been an intern.
Right. It, somehow I was writing in the wrong one. I don't know how that happened.
But why didn't you just keep this as an intern?
Because I have more stuff here.
Oh.
This is all the work I did yesterday.
Oh,
I'm the
okay.
lead character, so it kind of.
Okay, so the bulk of your work on the back end. All right. So while she gets this situated, I'll talk to you guys because I don't know, just that guy. So one thing which we talked about earlier was about being content creators and being patient. And that's one of the things that, I think we all struggle with because we have bills, we have
Oh
all
my
types of things that family, all types of things in our lives that kind of make it
something
difficult
is wrong.
to um
Yeah, I can't use this.
we're gonna start from fresh.
Yeah. Okay, we might have to call it a day because this is gonna keep getting messed up. It's somehow these two are tied to each other. I can't figure out how that's happening.
Every time you change one, the other one changes.
Yeah, and not for the good.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
all right. So you want to call it?
Yeah, because I don't know how that happened. They're two different documents.
Unfortunately, things happen. Thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit, talking about Kendrick. We're gonna try to figure this out, and we'll probably see you Monday.